Hey, your viewers and viewresses, my name is General Red Strategist, and welcome to something very interesting, an idea that Phil had. He's joining me, by the way, aren't you there, Phil?
I am fellow researcher, Dr. Taylor.
Ooh, yes.
Um, we I think it's safe to say I think hopefully we are allowed to do it. But anyone who watching this is works for the SCP Foundation, and we have just been recruited. Would you believe
Mm,
to work for them?
indeed.
So only the people who are allowed access can watch this. Can watch this. Anyone else will instantly get vaporized or given what I believe what is called an amnestic,
Yeah, mystics, yeah.
which basically
Wipes your
gets
memory.
rid of
Yeah,
memory. So anyone who is that and is watching this, bye bye.
indeed.
But for everyone else, yes, we are now recruited to see how the operation works of the foundation.
Indeed.
Uh,
Basically, we're going to be
secure-
reading some SCP articles, ladies and gentlemen. Phil had this idea, and I thought it was a really interesting idea. That Phil, because you know me, I played I played SCP Containment Breach way back in the day, and I do like my horror stuff. So why not do
yeah.
this?
No.
Yeah.
What we understand is we can have a look at the various different. There's obviously what's called the anomalous items, which are items that are just deemed they're not quite that bad enough to be as an actual entity and don't need to be contained. And then there's obviously the entities themselves, which are the scary stuff,
Yeah.
the big G. Yeah,
Indeed.
there's a hell of a lot of them. I think there's something like 6,000
Oh,
SCPs in total.
well, I'm looking here on the featured SCP, and it's SCP 8597.
And there'll be a contest for 9,000 for the next one. So
Yeah.
who knows who's out there? But there's all it's yes, SCP it's got massive lore
Oh
behind
yeah,
it.
it is. It's
But
huge.
the classes, there's the obviously the researchers, there's obviously the higher ups,
Mm,
which we could probably have a look at who they are
yeah,
later on. They
indeed.
get the say and everything. So why don't we start with what it's about?
Indeed.
Most people probably know. Well, I mean, anyone who's listening to this will have been joined, so you might want to understand what it's all about and how the
Yeah.
SCP Foundation works. So,
So I should just predicate by saying I know, obviously, I mentioned I have played the SCP Containment Breach game, and I have read some of the entity articles on this. But to be honest, there's a lot on the SCP Foundation Wikidot site that I've not really read before. So this will
no,
actually be quite new to me. Some of this.
what we've got to understand is that some of them they've got interesting powers. Some, things that you think, okay, that's a bit curious. Some are a bit bizarre, and then there's some that are downright apocalyptic and
Yeah,
horrific.
there are.
Uh,
Like some are scary, some are jokes, and some of them are just weird.
exactly. So,
Would
care to
you?
read?
Okay, I
Or do
shall
you-
read then about the SCP Foundation. So, mankind in its present state has been around for 250,000 years, yet only a small fraction of that has been of any significance. So, what did we do for nearly 250,000 years? We huddled in caves and around small fires, fearful of the things that we didn't understand. It was more than explaining why the sun came up. It was the mystery of enormous birds with heads of men and rocks that came to life. So we called them gods and demons, begged them to spare us and prayed for salvation. In time, their numbers dwindled, and ours rose. The world began to make more sense when there were fewer things to fear, yet the unexplained can never truly go away, as if the universe demands the absurd and impossible. Mankind must not go back to hiding in fear. No one else will protect us, and we must stand up for ourselves. While the rest of mankind dwells in the light, we must stand in the darkness to fight it, contain it, and shield it from the eyes of the public, so that others may live in a sane and normal world. We secure, we contain, we protect. The Administrator.
Oh yes, I believe. Although probably find this out later when we see the various divisions and branches and who is the SCP and all the various different uh, people who work for them. I believe the administrator is the very person who basically founded
Yeah,
the SCP.
so basically the
Yeah.
person at the very top, in essence, I guess, yeah. So the mission statement says operating clandestine and
Oh,
worldwide. Sorry, go on.
I just wonder if you want me to read this bit. I
Okay.
suppose we can alternate. It's a
Yeah,
good idea,
actually,
wouldn't
go
it?
on. Do you want to read the mission statement then, instead of me?
Mission statement. Shall I put on a book? No. Operating clandestine and worldwide, the Foundation acts beyond conventional jurisdiction with the task. Sorry, I can help if I can bloody fucking read. Come on, I work for the SCP Foundation now.
I know.
We've got to know how to read. With the task of containing anonymous objects, entities, and phenomena. Ooh. We maintain an extensive database of information regarding anomalies requiring special containment procedures, commonly referred to as SCPs, all of which undermine the natural laws that the people of the world implicitly trust in. So that's the basic general, that these things do things that
they shouldn't
we
do.
can't possibly
Yeah.
do. We operate to maintain normalcy so that the worldwide civilian population can live and go on with their daily lives without fear, mistrust, or doubt in their personal beliefs, and to maintain human independence from extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, and other extra-normal influence. Our mission is threefold: secure anomalies to prevent them from falling into the hands of civilians or rival agencies through extensive observation and surveillance, acting to intercept anomalies at the earliest opportunity. Contain anomalies to prevent spread of the influence or effects by either relocating, concealing, or dismantling them, or by suppressing public dissemination of knowledge thereof. And protects humanity as well as the anomalies themselves until such time that they're either fully understood or new theories or science can be devised based on their properties and behaviour. Additional information will be provided upon your joining us in pursuit of our goals. Welcome to the Foundation, and good luck.
Yes. Well, I'll click additional information probably in a second, because it looks like there's a hyperlink there that might take us to something interesting. But, that's basically the SCP Foundation in a nutshell, isn't it, Phil?
It is. So that basically describes what it's all about. And it's funny to think that as the SCP, basically, there are some ones that it can't contain, and there's some it does contain, and they don't want to destroy them, even though some of them are horrendous.
Yeah, because they want to study them and understand them first.
Yeah, okay, well, I think this is just all the site rules that we don't need to know about, so we can probably have additional information.
Additional information, yes. So, just very quickly, the About Us. Essentially, it's a collaborative speculative fiction website, and it's a collaborative effort, so there's hundreds of authors, lots of people contributing different SCPs. I think it's worth mentioning that very quickly, how awesome it actually is that, this is not the product of one single person. It is like so many different people testing out their writing skills, which I think is really impressive.
It really is good, yeah.
Yeah. So let's have a look at this additional information page over here.
Look at that! To junior researcher Wood and Taylor.
No,
oh my goodness!
It's to us. Except our names have been redacted.
We have, yeah. We've been brought in. Would you believe that?
Yeah. Here we go. So this is actually a good page where it's got additional lists through to other bits of actual quite interesting information. So we can use this actually as a bit of a hub then, Phil, and that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Right, I'll read out this one then. So, welcome to the SCP Foundation, Researcher. It has likely been a difficult journey to find yourself where you are today, having to be scouted out by people you've never met before and invited to exams and interviews for a position you were never fully told of.
Yep, I remember that. Yes, we did do a lot of interviews, didn't we?
We did, a lot of interviews together, me and you at the same time in a room. Yes. Yes, indeed. What can you bring to this organisation? Well, and I would say, I know Phil can bring this, and then Phil would say, and I know Andrew can bring this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. We can imagine you already have a few questions, whether it be where you are, who is here with you, or why you were chosen to be here. Many of these questions we will not be able to answer. Some of those we will. In the interest of not making new personnel go through their first several weeks guessing what each task force, site and acronym actually stands for, we've compiled all the information you'd reasonably need, and can be given, into a single automated message sent to every new recruit's personal inbox. We recommend going over these at your earliest convenience. So we've just been through about the SCP Foundation, our mission statement, word from the administrator, and other miscellaneous information we expect new recruits to be aware of. We then have object classes, sorry, it's not my microphone, a rundown of the standard anomaly classification system and what each designation says about its respective item, required reading for new researchers. Information regarding esoteric object classes may also be accessed. There's also security clearance levels, how the classification system works, violation of clearance levels.
Go through each one, shouldn't we, really?
Let's go through each one. Let's go through object classes, shall we, Phil?
See what the different classes that they contain things from.
Yes.
So, all anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena regarding special containment procedures are assigned an object class. An object class is a part of the standard SCP template and serves as a rough indicator of how difficult an object is to contain. In universe, object classes are for the purpose of identifying containment needs, research priority, budgeting, and other considerations. An SCP's object class is determined by a number of factors, but the most important factors are the difficulty and the purpose of its containment. Yes.
So ultimately, it's about how difficult it is to contain that determines the class, ladies and gentlemen. Scroll down a bit there for you.
So we start off with the primary classes, the most common object classes used in SCP articles and make up the bulk of the objects. So the first one is safe. Why don't you tell us what safe is about?
Okay. Safe class SCPs are anomalies that are easily and safely contained. This is often due to the fact that the Foundation has researched the SCP well enough that containment does not require significant resources, or that the anomalies require a specific and conscious activation or trigger. Classifying an SCP as safe, however, does not mean that handling or activating it does not pose a threat. And technically they have a list of safe class articles, but I don't know if we'll necessarily use that or if we'll just go through the actual numbered pages.
That's probably what we'll do later on.
Indeed.
Yeah. So safe is, you think of them as they're probably okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes if you maybe get into the same room as them, they might not always do the best thing.
In essence, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't hurt you, it's just that containing them is really simple and straightforward, so realistically, unless you do something stupid, it's not going to be a threat.
Exactly. That's the Okay, next is Euclid. Euclid class SCPs are anomalies that require more resource to contain completely, or where containment isn't always reliable. Usually this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood or inherently unpredictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope and is usually a safe bet. An SCP will be this class if it doesn't easily fall into any of the other standard object classes. As a note, any SCP that's autonomous or sapient is generally classed as Euclid due to the inherent unpredictability of an object that can act or think on its own.
Yes.
That makes sense. So they're a bit more difficult to contain, these ones.
Indeed, and potentially a bit more dangerous as a result. Indeed, so that's kind of your standard sort of middle class. I believe most of the SCPs on this site are given sort of Euclid. I think
almost a vast majority of these are usually under this class.
Yeah, they are.
And you also explained how they get contained as well, so that's an interesting one. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. So next on the list we have Keter, or Keter, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Keter, okay. Keter class SCPs are anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain consistently or reliably, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. The Foundation often can't contain these SCPs well, due to not having a solid understanding of the anomaly, or lacking the technology to properly contain or counter it. A Keter SCP does not mean the SCP is dangerous, just that it is simply very difficult or costly to contain.
Yeah, some of them, because there'll be some SCPs that no doubt could break out straight away.
Yeah.
Without even doing anything.
Indeed, yeah.
Be careful with these types.
So it's kind of like Euclid Plus, in a way of saying stuff that...
Oh, yeah. That's interesting, isn't it?
Indeed. I suppose you could kind of regard it like being like that in essence.
Yeah, so that's the... then we got the last one of the primary classes with the Thormial. I believe the Thormial class SCPs are anomalies the Foundation specifically used to contain other SCPs. Even the mere existence of Thormial class objects is classified at the highest levels of the Foundation, and the locations, functions, and current status are known to few Foundation personnel outside of the O5 Council.
Yes. So, using SCPs to contain others.
And we'll work out who the O5 Council are.
In due course.
Later on.
Yeah.
Yes. So these are ones that contain other ones.
Yeah.
So basically,
can be used to do so.
Honestly, there are all sorts of weird SCPs, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the secondary classes, shall we now, Andrew?
The secondary classes. So, the following object classes are less frequently used and designate anomalies with unusual containment requirements. So the first one is Apollyon. Apollyon class SCPs are anomalies that cannot be contained, are expected to breach containment imminently, or some other similar scenario. Such anomalies are usually associated with world-ending threats or a K-class scenario of some kind, and require a massive effort from the Foundation to deal with. Okay.
It's sort of in the name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apocalyptic. Yeah, in the name there. So oh god, imagine these types of ones.
Yeah.
These ones are probably the ones that are ridiculously scary.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I remember in years gone by when, occasionally I dabbled on this site reading stuff. I don't actually remember the secondary classes. I remember obviously the primary ones of Safe, Euclid, and Keter, but I don't remember these ones. So I wonder if these have been added in at some point at a later date.
Oh, that makes it even worse then, doesn't it? Because these ones are going to be like horrendous ones.
Indeed.
Yeah. With like 8,999 SCPs.
Oh yeah, there'll be more than a few.
Yeah. So that's that one.
You want to read the next one?
Yeah, Archon, or Archon, I think. Archon. SCPs are anomalies that can theoretically be contained, but are best left uncontained for some reason. Archon SCPs may be a part of consensus reality that's difficult to fully contain, or may have adverse effects if put into containment. These SCPs are not uncontainable. The defining feature of the class is that the Foundation chooses to not put the anomaly into containment.
Okay, so something that it's better actually just to leave it kind of where it is rather than trying to move it around, I guess.
And if you did put it in some sort of containment, it would be even worse for everyone.
Yeah, indeed.
So leave it alone is that one. That's essentially the leave it alone class.
Basically, yeah. And finally, in the secondary classes, we have Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga class SCPs cannot be contained, but also do not need to be contained. While these anomalies are similar to Archon class SCPs in that their containment is unnecessary, Ticonderoga class SCPs are distinguished by also not being containable, given the Foundation's current knowledge and resources. This may be due to their widespread or ubiquitous occurrence on Earth, despite the general public remaining unaware of their existence or anomalous nature, although the Ticonderoga class also includes extraterrestrial anomalies beyond the current reach of the Foundation.
So it's difficult to get to, because I mean, if you've got an SCP that's basically doing something in another universe or another multiverse or somewhere out in space, it's going to be difficult to contain that, isn't it? Really?
So basically, the difference. So these three classes under the secondary are basically all about stuff that basically cannot be contained, but for different reasons. So it's like Apollyon is something that cannot be contained, and usually it's also associated with a terrible threat of some kind. Archon basically is you could contain it, but actually it's better not to. And Ticonderoga seems to be cannot be contained because you literally just cannot contain it.
Too big or too weird to understand.
Or it's like extraterrestrial and therefore not on Earth, something like that. Okay.
Now to non-standard object classes. So most of the following object classes indicating SCP has not yet been assigned a standard object class, or is previously assigned a standard object class but no longer requires containment. There are also additional object classes that are used less frequently than ones listed above, known as esoteric or native object classes. So we've got explained. I wonder what explained could be. Explained SCPs are complete articles about anomalies that are completely and fully understood to the point where their effects are now explainable by mainstream science, or phenomena that have been debunked or falsely mistaken as an anomaly. Okay, so basically we can now explain it with science. So it's no longer does these weird things, no longer weird, basically.
This is then followed by neutralized. Neutralized SCPs are former anomalies that are no longer anomalous, either through having been intentionally or accidentally destroyed or disabled.
Which I believe is, I think it's like the SCP's absolute last case scenario to neutralize. They want to study everything, so it could also be that there's such a threat that it'll be awful just to keep studying it and they just need to get rid of it as soon as possible.
So I imagine there's probably not a great number of neutralised ones in that sense, since the aim is study in essence.
Exactly. Decommissioned is next, which are anomalies that have been intentionally destroyed or stripped of their anomalous properties by the Foundation. As the Foundation usually tries to contain rather than neutralise anomalous objects, this object class is only used when it's not possible to fully contain an anomaly or when excessive expenditure of resources is required to give an anomaly containment. This decommission may also be performed for ethical reasons, particularly when the containment necessitates extreme suffering or is unable to prevent excessive loss of life. To avoid any unnecessary losses, decommissioned anomalies require authorization from a higher authority, such as the O5 Council, the Ethics Committee, or the Decommissioning Department.
So, I guess that's interesting. It sounds like there's a bit of overlap then between neutralised and decommissioned, because it sounds like decommission basically is they've purposefully destroyed or stripped something of its anomalous properties.
Causing massive, so whereas neutralised is because they've
accidental, or unintentional, it's just a bit. The overlap I think comes where it says under neutralised that it can technically be intentional neutralization, whereas decommission feels more specifically like they've neutralized it because there's a threat.
Or I wonder if neutralized is basically got rid of it absolutely for not completely, whereas decommission is sort of like just like a shutdown phase.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like maybe that is what's the case, yeah. Pending SCP articles that have not yet been assigned an object class may be labelled as pending. It's used to indicate that the Foundation does not currently have enough information to assign an object class to the anomaly. This is a deliberate decision to emphasise that research is ongoing and isn't the same as the author not knowing which object class to assign.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, because there's always new ones coming in at all times, so you don't know where they are. But that's why they keep researching and researching. Eventually, it'll probably get an object class.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, uncontained. SCPs that are not yet contained may be assigned an object class, often Keter, but in some articles, uncontained is used in place of an object class to emphasise that ongoing effort is required to establish or restore containment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it's not yet in containment, but we're going to contain it, in essence.
We're going to try and contain it, yeah.
Yeah. So, esoteric object classes. Additional object classes not listed above are generally created to further the narrative in a particular SCP and only used once, and so are referred to as esoteric or narrative object classes. Esoteric object classes that are used often enough may eventually meet the requirements to be added to the list of secondary classes above. It is recommended to use one of the primary object classes listed here for most SCPs, only using another object class if there's a good reason to justify it in the article, because that's for like the benefit of the authors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we understand all the different object classes and where they go, so we can go. Oh, we've got a bit of an FAQ.
Ooh. Again, this must be for authors and things, by the looks of it.
Okay. Probably. Yeah. Okay, if it's for authors, it's probably not something we really need to go through then.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Okay,
so
well, we've understood the object classes. We're understood. So who do we report to? Hello. We understand now. Head researcher. Head researcher.
Report to HR. We have completed the object class course.
Yes. Okay. Oh, security clearance levels.
Here we go. Yes.
Let's look at it. Who? Oh, yes, you read that. That's one. So let's have a look at the Foundation security clearances granted to personnel represent the highest level or type of information to which they've been granted access. However, having any given clearance level does not automatically grant access to all information at that level. Personnel are only granted access to information on a need-to-know basis and at the discretion of the designated disclosure officer overseeing their respective departments. Yeah, so this is where, because certain people will be able to get into certain SCPs and certain other people won't, depending on their level.
Indeed.
So what starts us off, Andrew, then?
Level 0 for official use only. Level 0 security clearances are given to non-essential personnel with no need to access information regarding anomalous objects or entities in Foundation containment. Level 0 access is typically held by personnel in non-secured clerical, logistics or janitorial positions at facilities with no access to operational data. So if you're just a cleaner, you're a level 0 basically.
You can walk around these areas without, and you've basically got no restrictions on that one, so it's like the lowest of the low.
Yeah. So indeed, you just don't have any information in essence.
So, on to level 1, which is confidential. Level 1 security clearances are given to personnel working in proximity to, but with no direct, indirect or informational access to anomalous objects or entities in containment. Level 1 security clearances are typically granted to personnel working in clerical, logistics or janitorial positions at facilities with containment capability or otherwise must handle sensitive information.
Yeah. So basically it's like level 0, but you're involved in a role which technically has some exposure to SCPs, therefore you would need to know certain things in order to be able to do your job.
Yeah, because if there were things you didn't know and you were close to an SCP, that if you open the door, it would do something like teleport out or come in or rip you into 500 pieces.
Yeah.
Then you definitely need to know that.
Indeed. So imagine, if you're the person who has to go into, say, SCP-173's chamber to clear the dirt off the floor or something, you probably have a bit of information, so that you know what you're actually getting into.
Yeah. Okay.
Level 2. Restricted. Level 2 security clearances are given to security and research personnel that require direct access to information regarding anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most research staff, field agents and containment specialists hold a Level 2 security clearance.
a bit more now. So
Yes.
yeah, will obviously make sense. Research staff need to be doing it, but it'll be like the low end research staff.
The lower level, probably the majority of the research staff. That's what they are given, as well as security personnel who have to obviously oversee, make sure that the SCPs don't go wild.
Exactly. On to level 3, which is secret. Level 3 security clearance are given to senior security and research personnel that acquire in-depth data regarding the source, recovery circumstances, and long-term planning for anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most senior research staff, project managers, security officers, response team members, and mobile task force operatives hold a level 3 security clearance.
So basically,
so it's getting more, more in depth. Higher level research personnel.
Indeed. If you're basically the head of a research team, then you probably have, I would guess, sort of access to the secret level.
Exactly. Yep.
So level 4, top secret. Level 4 security clearances are given to senior administration that require access to site-wide and/or regional intelligence, as well as long-term strategic data regarding Foundation operations and research projects. Level 4 security clearances are typically only held by site directors, security directors, or mobile task force commanders.
Yeah. These will probably be the one where they have to get a sort of judgment of for this sort of one.
So we're getting into the senior levels here.
Yeah. And then we come to the final, level 5, Thormial. Level 5 security clearance is given to the highest ranking administrative personnel within the Foundation and grant effectively unlimited access to all strategic and otherwise sensitive data. Level 5 security clearance are typically only granted to O5 council members and selected staff.
So probably the rarest security clearance granted.
So basically, you'll be able to get into any site, see any SCP that you want. Not that you'd really want to see much of them, and be able to get all the information that you need.
Indeed, yeah. So you're pretty high up then. You're one of the highest of the high, basically, within the organisation.
Exactly, yeah.
Indeed. So then we come to the personnel classifications. I'll read this sentence and I'll read the Class A as well, since, classifications are assigned to personnel based on their proximity to potentially dangerous anomalous objects, entities, or phenomena. So Class A personnel are those deemed essential to Foundation strategic operations and are not allowed direct access to anomalies under any circumstances. When circumstances require Class A personnel to be in direct proximity to such anomalies, such as in the case of facilities housing containment units, Class A personnel are not allowed access to the areas of the facility containing such anomalies and to be kept in secured areas at all times. In the case of an emergency, Class A personnel are to be immediately evacuated to a designated and secure off-site location. O5 council members are always Class A personnel, so basically VIPs and extremely important people.
Yeah, I think we can gather from this, what we'll come to later, that the O5 Council are probably the top of the top.
Yeah, indeed. I already see the Class D down there and already know what that is from Containment Breach, but go ahead with Class B.
Class B personnel, they are deemed essential to local Foundation operations and may only be granted access to objects, entities, and anomalies that have passed quarantine and have been cleared of any potential mind-affecting effects or mimetic agents. In the event of a containment breach or hostile action against a Foundation facility, Class B personnel are to be evacuated to a designated secure off-site location as soon as possible.
So they're step down. Yeah,
sort of okay, but they don't get as much privilege.
Indeed.
As well.
Then on the next rung we have the Class C personnel. They are personnel with direct access to most anomalies not deemed strictly hostile or dangerous. Class C personnel that have had direct contact with potentially mind-affecting or mimetic properties may be subject to mandatory quarantine and psychiatric evaluation as deemed necessary by security personnel. In the event of a containment breach or hostile action against a Foundation facility, non-combatant Class C personnel are to either report to secure lockdown areas or evacuate at the discretion of on-site security personnel in the case of a site-wide breach or other catastrophic event.
Okay, so they're not getting as much, are they?
No.
Okay.
These are basically your direct researchers and security teams who are on site and who are working in sort of immediate anomaly-facing roles.
Yep, which, oh God, you feel for them, don't you? But I think who we mostly to feel for is the Class D. Class D personnel are expendable personnel used to handle extremely hazardous anomalies and are not allowed to come into contact with Class A or Class B personnel. Class D personnel are typically drawn worldwide from the ranks of prison inmates convicted of violent crimes, especially those on death row. In times of duress, Protocol 12 may be enacted, which allows recruitment from other sources such as political prisoners, refugee populations, and other civilian sources that can be transferred into Foundation custody under plausibly deniable circumstances. Class D personnel are to be given regular mandatory psychiatric evaluations and to be administered amnestic of at least Class B strength or terminated at the end of the month at the discretion of on-site security or medical staff. In the event of a catastrophic site event, Class D personnel are to be terminated immediately, except as deemed necessary by on-site security personnel.
Yep. So you're basically just a grunt who is used by the Foundation in their research.
And they can kill you off.
Yeah.
Straight. That's the thing. Yeah, they can just kill you off straight away if they're not needed.
It's basically like in Containment Breach when the mobile task forces start getting involved. If you encounter them, they just straight up shoot you because you're a Class D.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's one.
Yeah. Then you get to Class E. A provisional classification applied to field agents and containment personnel that have been exposed to potentially dangerous effects during the course of securing and establishing initial containment over a newly designated anomalous object, entity, or phenomenon. Class E personnel are to be quarantined as soon as possible, monitored, and screened for potentially harmful changes in behaviour, personality, or physiology, and may only return to duty after being fully debriefed and cleared by psychiatric and medical staff.
Okay, so they've been exposed to an SCP essentially.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're an agent, research personnel, or whatever, and something bad happens to you, but you don't die, you get put into quarantine, and you're given that designation to, basically tell everyone you are under observation.
Yeah, to make sure it doesn't go any further.
Indeed. Yeah.
Right. Staff titles now. These are general occupational titles that typically used in the Foundation. So site staff, containment specialists. Containment specialists have two main roles at Foundation facilities. Firstly, containment teams are called upon to respond to confirmed cases of anomalous activity, secure and establish initial containment of anomalous objects, entities or phenomena, and transport them to the nearest Foundation containment site. In addition, Foundation containment engineers and technicians are called upon to devise, refine and maintain containment units and schemes for objects, entities and phenomena in Foundation facilities.
Okay, so containment teams, specialists, fairly straightforward what your job there is.
Yeah. The interesting thing is how they find out about these anomalies coming through. I think they usually get someone tells them, or it works out as because it might get found by someone, or it's already caused a really bad event.
Yeah.
And if you can see what's going on.
Indeed. Have a spare a thought for the containment teams who have to go in first to try and actually secure whatever the anomaly is, with little information about how it works or anything like that.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Not seen it before.
Then you come to the researchers. They are the scientific branch of the Foundation, drawn from the ranks of the smartest and best trained research scientists from around the world. With specialists in every field imaginable, from chemistry and botany to more esoteric or specialised fields such as theoretical physics and xenobiology, the goal of the Foundation's research projects is to gain a better understanding of unexplained anomalies and how they operate.
Yeah, well, because they need to know, because the containment specialist just brought them in.
Yeah.
And now they've got to work just what goes on with this this special SCP. Because you would think as well, the containment specialist, probably a lot of the agents there will die.
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't know how to deal with this new thing, and they might get ripped apart or whatever happens.
Yeah.
Just taken through time and minced. Who knows?
Indeed. So, what is the life expectancy then of a containment team member in the SCP Foundation?
And the researchers are like, oh, thanks, you brought something. Let me have a look at it now. And oh my God, you don't understand what it's done to the whole team. Oh, bad. Anyway, let's research it.
Indeed. Yeah.
Security officer times. On-site security officers, often referred to simply as guards at Foundation facilities, are tasked with maintaining physical and information security for Foundation projects, operations and personnel. Primarily drawn and recruited from military, law enforcement and correctional facility personnel, security officer train the use of all types of weapons as well as a variety of contingency plans covering both containment breach incidents as well as hostile action. These personnel are also responsible for information security, such as making sure that sensitive documents are not misplaced and that the facility's computer systems are safe from outside intrusion. They are also often the first line of defence against hostile outside forces for Foundation facilities.
So that's the thing. Yeah,
you've got to have security officers.
Yeah, as I understand it in the SCP sort of universe, it's not just obviously SCPs that they worry about. There's like other organisations, I believe, that basically are hostile.
Yeah, there's a lot of other different. One of the ones that I know is the Chaos Insurgency.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure appear.
Learn about more later on, of course.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm pretty sure they appear at the end of Containment Breach if you get the good ending, but you escape and they take you away. I believe it's that they're supposed to be Chaos Insurgency.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to know them as well as what they do. But you've got to think as well. You think there'll be quite a few people that want to hack in.
Yeah.
So the security need to be very good with finding that out. So that people want to get access to all this information.
Indeed. Then you have tactical response officers. Response teams or tactical teams are highly trained and heavily armed combat teams tasked with escorting containment teams when dangerous anomalous entities or hostile groups of interest are involved and defending Foundation facilities against hostile action. Response teams are effectively military units stationed at major Foundation facilities that are ready to deploy at a moment's notice.
So a bit better than a security officer.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
They'll be first responders to get someone who's. But I mean, how many tactical response officers can you face up against something that could mind bend the world?
Well, that is the question, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, but when you look at it. Okay, let's have a look at the field personnel now. So we've got a field agent. They are the eyes and ears the Foundation personnel trained to look for and investigate signs of anomalous activity, often undercover with local or regional law enforcement or embedded in local services such as emergency medical services and regulatory organisations. As undercover units, field agents are typically not equipped to deal with confirmed cases of anomalous activity. Once such an incident has been confirmed and isolated, field agents are typically called for assistance from the nearest field containment team with the means to safely secure and contain such anomalies, and then will be terminated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that answers your earlier question, though, about how they sort of find out then if there's a potential anomaly somewhere, because they have field agents on the ground who probably, like I say, just keep their ears to the ground, listen to what local people are saying, and information traffic and things like that.
Exactly, to work out what's going on.
Yes. Mobile Task Force Operative. Mobile Task Forces are specialist units comprised of veteran field personnel drawn from all over the Foundation. These task forces are mobilised to deal with threats of a specific nature and can include anything from field researchers specialising in a particular type of anomaly to heavily armed combat units tasked to secure certain types of hostile anomalous entity. See the Task Forces document for more detailed information.
Yeah, of course. So that'll provide additional help, won't it?
Yeah.
Because especially when you know one particular researcher who's been studying this particular SCP for ages, so they know, its ins and outs and how to shut it down, basically, in a way.
Yeah, how to contain it.
Okay, and finally we've got the administration. So we've got the site director. Site directors for major Foundation facilities, the highest ranking personnel at that location, are responsible for the contained safe operation of the site and all of its contained anomalies and projects. All major departmental directors report directly to the site director, who in turn reports to the O5 Council.
So, site senior staff.
And then, big cheeses,
above them, at these proper sort of global level, you have the O5 Council members. The O5 Council refers to the committee consisting of the highest ranking directors of the Foundation. With complete access to all information regarding anomalies and containment, the O5 Council oversees all Foundation operations worldwide and directs its long-term strategic plans. Due to the sensitivity of their positions, O5 Council members must not come into direct contact with any anomalous object, entity or phenomenon. Furthermore, the identities of all O5 Council members is classified. All Council members are referred to only by their numeric designation, O51 through O513.
Yeah, it makes sense. You don't want anyone to know about them if they're the higher ups.
You don't.
You don't want them to come into direct contact. I reckon there've probably been some who've accidentally come into direct contact.
There'll be a story somewhere in SCP where that's happened. Yeah. Okay, so that's
a particular SCP that's designed to take down O5 Council members.
A specific one. What a very specific anomaly that would be. Indeed. So that's your security clearance levels there. Foundation facilities then, Phil?
Yeah, we'll have a look at the Foundation facilities. This will be there's. Oh my god!
They've got an actual map.
Yeah.
Indeed. You want to read that top box there?
So, the Foundation maintains and operates a large number of facilities worldwide, from small outposts with only a handful of staff to large complexes with thousands of personnel. The following document contains a list of major Foundation facilities, but is not intended to be fully comprehensive. These facilities are divided into sites, locations known to the public but with a true purpose disguised by government or corporate fronts, and areas, which are completely unknown to the public, generally due to their remote locations. For further information, we've got the definition of facilities types at the bottom of this page. Any inconsistencies in the following document are inevitable by products of compartmentalization, redaction, disinformation, anomalous influence, and database errors. So we've got quite a few, isn't there, all over the world. We've got.
Oh wow, this is this whole list of them here. Yeah, it's good. Some of them. Well, as I say, some of them look like they have like flag designs on them as well. Holy shit, there's a lot. And
Oh
there's the
wow.
areas.
Okay.
Yeah, and you've got your definitions of facility types down here, as well as obviously all your other links down here. International Index of Secure Facilities Locations, locations of interest, semi-comprehensive list of secure facilities locations. Should we do the definitions one?
Well, you do realise you can actually click the sites.
Yeah, I know, but look how many there are, Phil. I don't know if we'll necessarily get through all of these in this video.
Well, no, we doesn't have to all be done in one video because so much to
True.
read. So there's no video. So let's have a look at. Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's only small. Never mind. Yeah. Null. Site 0. Location NA. Site 0 is a containment facility that does not exist for the purpose of containment and research into unreality. Ooh.
Okay.
Sounds interesting.
How can we click these things? What?
Dossier Site 0. Ooh. My goodness. Your imaginary friend. Oh, this is like a proper sort of little story kind of thing here. Do you want to read this, Phil?
I've never seen this before. He didn't buy it. I can see it in the way he looks at me with a vacant expression. The files are uploaded to the database from your account. Yeah, and I'm telling you, there's no way I did it. I haven't been able to log into my account for the past few days. Racer radiates beige energy. Don't ask me what beige energy is, but know that it describes their offices perfectly. The man sitting in front of me sighs and slightly turns his monitor around. Just look, I know you're new and it's usually no big deal, but come on, this is lazy, even for fake documentation. Just admit you messed up and we can both be on our way. I look at the man. That does sound pretty good, even though I'll get reprimanded for something I didn't do. It's not like I leak classified information after all. I scan the document I'm being accused of making.
Okay. So, SCP Foundation Secure Facility Dossier. Site 0, Department of Unreality. Official designation, SCP Foundation Unreality Containment Facility. Site area identification code, null site 0. General information founded, yes. Founding director, John H. Kempelen. Location, NANE, null 000, etc. Yeah. Containment and research into unreality, size, standard.
Okay, so we've got all this staffing information. Okay, yeah, so...
Yeah. Oh, and we go down to the remainder of the story.
I turn to the racer employee. So, if I say I did this, it goes away. He seems relieved. You have to take a mandatory course on database usage, but yes. Sounds good. I'll take it. He smiles. Pleasure speaking with you, Master? Oh, I don't know what MX is. MX Thorley.
I think MX is like a gender-neutral pronoun, like Mr. and Mrs., but MX.
Yeah, I get as always deletes the dossier. I don't say a word until I'm back at my apartment. I wouldn't be able to if I wanted to. Slowly I try solving a puzzle with no repeats. As I stare at the wall, brain whirrings with the noisy information. I keep thinking about a line in the now deleted site dossier. Reality liaison, Alex Thorley. Why would the Department of Unreality take an interest in someone new to the Foundation? And more importantly, what does reality liaison even mean? It's about as unrealistic as every part of this godforsaken mess I'm in. The more I think about it, the less it makes sense. What's a reality injection array? Why would a fake site dossier appear out of nowhere? Why was it posted under my name? A thought pops into my head. It doesn't let go.
Indeed. Interesting.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yes. So basically, a dossier has cropped up, nobody knows where it came from. Everyone believes it's from this person called Thorley, but Thorley themselves doesn't actually know what it is.
Yeah, this is a bit strange, but it's supposed to be the site of unreality, so who knows what's going on.
Maybe like a weird alternate dimension, SCP or something.
Yes.
Indeed. Okay, so that's the Site 0. Hold on, let's get it back up, because there's also Department of Unreality. Ooh. Dear Name, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Department Name. You've been chosen from amongst your peers for your relevant work experience and positive personal quality. The department handles a very specific subset of anomalous phenomena affecting relevant information concerning the department. Additional paragraphs detailing relevant duties covered by the department. Regards, John Doe, Department of Unreality Director. Interesting. So it says the building blocks of deconstruction. Ooh. The afternoon, Department of Unreality Orientation. It's like, oh, these like actual story. Oh god, this is like a huge fucking page. This is with a lot of stuff on it. Interesting. So this, this is a whole other thing basically.
A site that doesn't really exist properly, I think we can say.
Yeah.
From the...
In essence, that is what it is. Should we do
site 1 then?
Site 1, yeah. Do you want to read?
Protected, so the data's been expunged. Oh dear. It's also known as the Overwatch HQ. Really? Oh, so we've got where's the Fortnite HQ? Hey, It's a safe zone that acts as a data backup for all major Foundation facilities worldwide, as well as a secure meeting facility for O5 Council members and other high-ranking Foundation personnel. All further details, including the location of Site 1, are strictly classified.
Okay,
right,
so this is
the ultimate one. So this is where the O5 Council will probably meet and organise everything.
So it's basically the nerve centre of the whole Foundation, I'm guessing.
You would think so, wouldn't you, that the first site should be that?
Yeah, exactly. Indeed. Site 5, let's have a look at this one. Oh, unknown location, and it's all scribbled out, well, partially scribbled out. Site 5 is a man-made island constructed to store hazardous materials currently used for the containment of SCP-001, 001-EX, 1661, 2193, 2923, 3963, and 8110. This document has been altered by SCP-4182. Personnel are to be reminded that there is no Site 5.
Okay, thank you, 4182, for doing that.
It's a made-up site.
It's a made-up site, and it's going to be a very, 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 very long time before we get to SCP-4182 to find out what it is.
Indeed, yeah.
I think it would be a good idea if we do this over... looking at this site over a good few episodes.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've got to do more episodes of this.
There's so much things to go through. All the other people, and then the actual anomalous items, and then the actual SCPs themselves.
Yes.
We've got those are going to be, and then we've got over 8,900 SCPs to get through.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, I just had sort of an idea, because obviously, we've been recording for quite a while already in this episode, and I imagine most people are probably interested in the SCPs themselves. So I'm thinking, in each episode, should we, especially when we're, going through all this side information, should we at least maybe do, I don't know, say like 5 of the actual SCPs as well, just so that way we've got some of them, or do you think we should leave them? Yeah.
Well, we can do the anomalous items actually, because they're the ones that are first before we do the SCPs. That's what I was thinking.
So anomalous items. I need to remember how I get to that bit.
Scroll down on this.
Oh, scroll down on this. It is log of anomalous items. There we go. Let's go here. Oh wow. There's only 250 of them. Indeed.
No, there's not.
Oh, there isn't.
There's more. There's many more.
Oh, there's more of them, is there? Okay. Oh.
Look at that.
Oh God, yes.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, seventh volumes of anomalous items.
See, I was just looking at this table of contents here on the right. Okay, there's quite a bit of stuff there then.
So basically, anomalous items for those are items which are too useless to merit further attention. So they've got some sort of curiosity, but they're not enough to be like a full standard entity.
Yeah.
Sort of like little interesting ones that we can go through. So let's have a look at these first ones. Start us off. These ones are number 1 to 10.
Yeah. Item description for number 1, an unbreakable lamp. Date of recovery is redacted, as is location. Current status kept in Dr. Wright's office in site, redacted. Notes this is one of the first items categorised as anomalous and denied full SCP classification due to lack of value in further research and little need even for special containment.
Well, makes sense, doesn't it? Really,
Yeah.
It's not really. That would be that. I'll tell you what, that would be nice to have an unbreakable lamp if you accidentally dropped on the floor and it would never ever break.
Yeah.
but if you could make a lamp that would be unbreakable with a certain. It can be scientifically proven, which is probably why it's not SCP as well.
Yeah.
Because you could. There are materials in the world that you could put to make a lamp that would never break.
Indeed.
So it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is a penny, which when flipped will always land heads up. And date and location have both been redacted. Current status, shipped off to permanent storage. Notes, can't believe that none of the researchers kept this to win bets with.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you could fool someone with that, couldn't you?
You could, absolutely, yes. Indeed. So, it's funny, the SCP Foundation, because one of the sort of jokes online is how, you could be reading through all the entities and anomalies and, you start out with one, which is this most terrifying, world-ending nightmare, and then the next one you read is something like this, where it's like, oh yeah, it's a penny which just is heads every time you flip it.
Yeah, I would tell you what, you'd win a lot of bets.
You would.
That's for damn sure. With that one.
Number 3.
Don't know.
Yes. Number 3 is a number 2 pencil, which will balance at a 32 degree angle for approximately 3 hours before God, I can't speak all of a sudden, before ceasing anomalous behaviours. Redacted date and location of recovery. Current status incinerated. Notes, I'm not even sure why this was an anomaly. Maybe it just had a very flat tip. Notice, destroying anomalous items without appropriate permission is a major violation of Foundation policy. See that this does not occur again. Site director redacted.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can't really go around unless you've got approval. You can't really go around destroying stuff.
No, you can't. Indeed.
But it's interesting. So next is a painting, possibly a landscape, records are unclear, that gave a mild case of diaphragmatic spasms or hiccups to anyone who saw it. Date and location are all redacted. Current status, incinerated. Oh no, not again. This could obviously be a pain to work with, but shouldn't they have at least tried to see how it worked? Again, we've got the site director saying, destroying anomalous items without appropriate permission is a major violation of Foundation policy. See that does not occur again.
Indeed. Yeah, what a strange bunch of anomalous items we've got here.
I know, imagine if imagine the painter did that to you, you just look and it goes, oh,
dear me. It's happening to you already. You just looked at the painting in your lounge.
Yeah.
Item description, normal garden slugs, whose trail has the exact same chemical composition and taste as commercial brand ranch dressing. They also appear to reproduce by binary fission every week. Date and location redacted. Current status, housed in a wildlife observation deck. Excess entities incinerated. And that's all there is to that one.
The site director didn't say anything there.
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, why you wouldn't take? Would you want to taste it though? And say, oh, it's like ranch dressing. This.
I imagine probably they did like a scientific analysis on the trail composition first, and then realised that it was chemically identical to ranch, and were like, oh, let's just get some Class D to taste it then.
Yeah, exactly. See if they keel over.
Yeah, indeed.
Next, we have a small rock that emits a bright white light from an unknown source. Otherwise, unremarkable. Date and location again are redacted, and it's currently in the possession of Dr. Light. No radiation, no life signs, nothing. If nothing else, it's a reminder of the inexplicable nature of the universe.
Okay, so a glowing rock, basically. People don't know what's causing it.
Yeah, someone could put well, they've probably seen it if someone put a hole in it and put a light in it, really, wouldn't they?
Yes, you'd think. Indeed. I'm sure they would pick up on that very quickly if that was the case.
Exactly.
Right, so that was the sixth one. Seventh one, a 1964 Smith & Wesson .44 Magnum revolver. When any ammunition is fired from the third chamber, an unidentified male voice will shout, "Nice shot!" Date of recovery, I'm guessing that's, an American date format, so 3rd of September, Wichita, Kansas, USA. Current status, in storage at Site 19's Vintage Weapons Depository. Notes, perfectly serviceable and well maintained aside from the anomaly. Accuracy or even proficiency with the firearm is not required for the anomaly to function. Voice sounds whether or not the shot is in fact nice.
That would be so awkward.
Yes.
Can you imagine having that in a war? Bang! Nice shot.
Yeah.
And even if you miss, it will still do it.
Yes.
That's the thing they said as the per the note. Bang! Oh shit! I missed. Nice shot. Oh, for God's sake, will you shut up?
So basically, the anomaly here is it's a haunted revolver that the ghost speaks every third shot.
Okay, we have a wire clothes hanger next. Only long-sleeve blue men's dress shirts with collar size between 38.1 centimetres and 40 centimetres can successfully be hung upon it. All other clothing articles simply drop off to the floor when the hanger is employed. This will be the 15th September it covered, and in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Current status, in storage.
Okay, it's a very choosy coat hanger, clothes hanger
It's
even.
like, you put something else on it. Excuse me? What's this? I don't approve of this. Goodbye.
Indeed. Item number 9, a nuclear snow globe. When shaken, instead of falling snow, it shows a miniature-scale nuclear explosion. It emits no radiation, sound or force, and the explosion pattern changes every shake. After effects such as radioactive snow and black rain have been observed. At random intervals, the snow globe will contain a small shed, car or truck, which reacts to the explosion. Dates redacted, but location recovery was Sokrovono, Russia. Current status, in storage.
Okay, that's a weird
Yeah.
snow globe.
Kind of cool sounding, but also kind of weird.
It's an interesting present, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah.
A squirrel, which constantly moved much slower than normal, even when jumping or falling, similar to slow-motion video footage. We don't know the date, but the location is in some family campground somewhere, and it's currently housed in a wildlife observation deck.
Weird. The slowest squirrel in the world.
Yeah, that would be weird to see, wouldn't it? When it's
Yeah.
like, what's going on there?
You ever seen the video of the squirrel that gets high on fermented crab apples in the snow, and it's just like
Yes, actually,
lurching about?
yeah,
Yeah,
drunk.
indeed, indeed. So that was the first 10 of the anomalous items. Shall we do more, or shall we maybe
Well, what
do?
we can do, I've got an idea. What we can do is every recording session, we have a look at the various sites and things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
and then obviously the other things, who the other organisations are, who the O5 and all that. And what we can do is if we do 10 anomalous items, and then we can have a look at some of the first
entities. Yeah, actual
entities. Yeah,
SCPs.
because there's so many, I think it'd be best if we do it like this. Again, there's so
Yeah,
many anomalous, and as well as the anomalous items, look, there's 7 additions, but there's
yeah.
also normal events, as you can see, and
Indeed.
unexplained locations as
Yeah.
well.
So I think, yeah, like I say, I feel like most people watching SCP videos really want to hear about the SCPs themselves. So let's go and do SCPs by series, shall we? We're starting with 1.
I think that's, here we are. Yes, that's right.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah. So how many do you think we should do? Maybe about sort of like
5.
5. Yeah, I think 5's probably a good number because we can probably remember that fairly easily for next time. So SCP
Well,
0.
actually, no. Or we, I think because so maybe we should do 10.
10?
10 each.
Yeah, 10 each
Yeah.
then. Let's do
Okay.
the same for 10 then. So,
Yeah.
SCP-001, awaiting declassification, blocked. The following files have been classified top secret by order of the administrator. General notice 001 Alpha. In order to prevent knowledge of SCP-001 from being leaked, several /no false 001 files have been created alongside the true file and files. All files concerning the nature of 001, including decoy/decoys, are protected by a memetic kill agent designed to immediately cause cardiac arrest in any non-authorized personnel attempting to access the file. Revealing the true nature/natures of SCP-001 to the general public is cause for execution, except as required under redacted. Warning, any non-authorised personnel accessing this file will be immediately terminated through Berryman Langford, memetic kill agent. Scrolling down without proper memetic inoculation will result in immediate cardiac arrest followed by death. You have been warned. Isn't that lovely?
Oh dear.
I'm scrolling down, Phil. I'm scrolling
Well,
down.
I think it's okay. We've got the privileges.
Yeah, we have. Oh gosh,
Oh.
my oh my. Oh, memetic kill agent activated. Continued life signs confirmed. Removing safety interlocks. Welcome authorized personnel. Please select your desired file. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
So we've been able to. Oh my God, what's?
Holy shit. There's a hell of a lot.
Okay, let's.
Which one do you want to look at? Some of these, or do you want to maybe have like a dedicated episode to them?
Let's have just a look at the first. We'll see what it's.
Okay. Codename Debida Eulalie O'Foolbert's proposal. The Piper at the Gates of Dawn. In the newly declassified section. Do you want to read this?
Okay. So we've got SCP-001 object class Sampo. Sampo. That's not what we've. Hang on. It's also got a little 1 beside it. What's that 1? Scroll over that.
Yeah. License citation.
If you scroll up, you can mouse over that 1.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Oh.
A footnote that's been expunged. Yeah.
Never mind. Remain calm. Stand by and wait instructions. The loop has closed. The last speck of empty space on the Earth's surface that wasn't affected by the tower has been swallowed up. Maybe a few underground bunkers full of real humans, but they're on borrowed time for the succumb to the unacknowledgeable enforcement of Whimsy. Other than me, nobody knows where they actually were 2 months ago, only false memories. Even I've been affected partially. There have been a few times I accidentally saved my name as Flipsy Sue, or that my father was a jolly butterfly farmer. The only reason he put me still intact is because of my pirated clearance on this thumb drive. Or maybe I'm just that angry. Either way, I can't wallow in my rage long enough to be idle. I know what I need to do, and even the suggestion of gradually forgetting my purpose terrifies me. So while I still can, I commit these thoughts to memory, going over them every night until my task is finished. I consider them writing down, but a certain someone's remote-controlled eyes can be glancing over my shoulder the minute I've written something compromising. I must never forget the woman who betrayed me. I must never forget the world as it was, as it should have remained. I must never forget Piper, VCAT, Virjana, the Central, Lucerne, Mill, or anything else. And the day I forgive any of it, may my bloodstream... Well, so they've scrolled out... Oh no,
Sorry. That's all.
Sorry, blood goes... May I fall rotting alive where I stand. It would be nicer than I deserve. For that point, I'd be one of them.
Begin. You can actually click begin. So Oh my. There's a whole story here. Act 1, a lovely day for waistcoats. Indeed. Okay.
We should probably say, yeah, probably save all these for another time because it looks like 001 is a big one.
It's a big one,
Lot
yeah.
of information, yeah.
Okay, so that's an interesting one because obviously it's completely made confidential. So
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's something pretty damn serious.
Yeah, no. What we'll do is once we finish all the SCPs, we'll come back to this, and any others that have really long things like this,
Yeah.
we'll come back to right at the end.
Indeed.
I think.
And the thing is, like some of these files that we could read, the whole idea is that they're actually supposed to be false in order to hide the true nature of it.
Yeah.
So, indeed,
Yeah.
which of these stories do you believe and all that? Okay, so you want to read SCP-002, Phil? The living room.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on to SCP-002 then.
The living room.
The living room. Oh. Okay. Am I reading? I think I am, aren't I?
Yeah, because I read the first bits of 001.
Oh God, the living room. Yeah. So this is SCP-002, which is it's got the object class of Euclid. Okay, so this is to remain connected to. So the special containment procedures are to remain connected to a suitable power supply at all times to keep in what appears to be a recharging mode. In case of electrical outage, the emergency barrier between the object and the facility is to be closed and the immediate area evacuated. Once facility power is re-established, alternating bursts of X-ray and ultraviolet light must then strobe the end until SCP-002 is reaffixed to the power supply and returned to recharging mode. Containment areas will be kept at negative air pressure at all times. Teams including a minimum of 2 members are required within 20 meters of SCP-002 or its containment area. Personnel should maintain physical contact with one another at all times to confirm there's another person present, as perception would be dulled, skewed, or influenced by proximity to the object. No personnel below level 3 are permitted within SCP-002. This requirement may be waived by a written authorization from 2 off-site level 4 administrators. Command staff issued such a waiver must be escorted by at least 5 level 3 security personnel for the duration of their contact and must temporarily surrender their rank and security clearance. Following contact, command staff will be escorted at least 5 kilometers from 002 to undergo a 72-hour quarantine and psychological evaluation. If deemed fit for return to duty by psych staff, rank and security clearance may be restored when quarantine expires. Good God. The container is really quite extensive for this, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I'll show you. So, what is SCP-002? Well, it's a tumorous fleshy growth with a volume of roughly 60 meters cubed, or 2,000 feet cubed. An iron valve hatch on one side leads to its interior, which appears to be a standard low-rent apartment of modest size. One wall of the room possesses a single shadow, though no such opening is visible from the exterior.
Yeah.
A window, yeah. The room contains furniture upon which close examination appears to be sculpted bone, woven hair, and various other biological substances produced by the human body. All matter tested thus far show independent or fragmented DNA sequences for each object in the room. Refer to the Mulhausen report for details related to objects discovery. Reference. To date, subject has been responsible for the disappearances of 7 personnel. It is also in its time at the facility further furnished with 2 lamps, a throw rug, a television, a radio, a beanbag chair, 3 books in an unknown language, 4 children's toys, and a small potted plant. Tests with a variety of lab animals, including higher primates, have failed to provoke a response in 002. Cadavers as well failed to produce any effect. Whatever process the subject used to convert organic matter into furnishings is apparently only facilitated by the introduction of living humans. Oh my God. So you basically get converted into,
furniture.
Into
It absorbs you into its mass. I get it.
I know. That's great. So the Mulhausen report. The following is a brief report detailing the discovery of 002. Subject was discovered in a small crater in northern Portugal where it struck the Earth from orbit. Encased in a shell of thick rock, the fleshy exterior of the object was exposed by the impact. A native farmer happened upon the site and reported his findings to the village elder. Subject gained SCP attention when a level 4 agent posted in the area detected a small radioactive anomaly generated by the object. A collection squad of SCP security personnel led by General Mulhausen was immediately dispatched to the area where they quickly secured the subject in a large container and performed initial testing with subjects recruited from the nearby village. 3 men individually sent to structure subsequently disappeared. Upon discovering this deadly property of the subject, General Mulhausen issued a level 4A termination order of any witnesses, roughly a third of the village, to ensure no outside knowledge of the object and initiated its transport to SCP facility. We'll never know. We'll never know which one that's gone to.
Yep.
During preparation for transport, 4 SCP security personnel were inexplicably drawn inside the object, where they too immediately disappeared. Following inspection, it appears that the object had grown several new furnishings and began to look like the interior of an apartment room. General Mulhausen immediately ordered the requisition several Class 3 hazmat suits for the remaining security team members, who proceeded to lift the container onto a waiting freight ship for transport to the SCP containment facility. And a lot more data expunged. Following the termination of General Housing, SCP-002 was resecured by SCP staff and brought into special containment and classified where it currently resides. Staff with clearance below Level 3 have been denied access to the container without prior approval at least 2 Level 4 staff after the Mulhausen
Okay,
incident.
something happened to General Mulhausen as well then, hence he was terminated. Oh
Yeah,
dear.
yeah.
So in
Oh,
essence,
God.
yeah, this is kind of like, I'm guessing, an extraterrestrial life form that is like a weird mimic kind of thing, that like uses an imitation of an actual human physical space to try and draw people into it.
And it converts them to, like, furnishings.
Yeah, absorbs them
Yeah.
and maintains
Oh,
the
dear.
disguise. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed,
Oh,
indeed.
dear. That's pretty awful, isn't it?
Nasty. So that's SCP-002. If I go back here, SCP-003, the biological motherboard. Right, so this is another Euclid one. Special containment procedures are as follows. SCP-003 is to be maintained at a constant temperature of no less than 35 degrees centigrade and ideally kept above 100 degrees centigrade. No living multicellular organisms of Category 4 or higher complexity may be allowed to come into contact with 003. In event of total power failure, if SCP-003-1 begins to increase its mass, assigned personnel must engage in skin contact with 003-1. Ideally, personnel may use their body heat to return 003-1 to above the critical temperature. However, skin contact must be maintained even in the event of 003 reaching activation temperature, lasting at minimum until 003-1 advances fully to its second growth stage. Personnel who enter 003's containment area must first be examined for body parasites of Category 4 or higher complexity and sterilised if such organisms are present. All personnel who have come in physical contact with 003-1 are to immediately report for sterilisation afterwards. 003-1 must not be removed from 003-2 except in case of emergency procedures detailed above. Any significant change in 003-2's rune activity, including pattern, frequency or colour, should be reported within 3 hours of occurrence. Cessation of rune activity must be reported immediately. 003-2 must be supplied with power via the source designated generator 003- that's the Roman 9, I guess, at all times. So this is a weird one.
I think actually we should probably stick to 5.
Yeah,
there's quite a lot.
There is a lot of information here. So there's quite a big description by the looks of it. So what is it? So SCP-003 consists of 2 related components of separate origin, referred to as 003-1 and 003-2. 003, gosh, the amount of times I can say 003, appears to be composed of chitin, hair and nails of unknown biology, arranged in a configuration similar to that of a computer motherboard. Testing reveals 003-1 to predate earliest known circuit boards by a factor of thousands of years. 003-1 is considered sentient, but not actively dangerous except under certain conditions. 003-1 was found on the stone tablet 003-2 on which it currently resides. The runes on 003-2 are not part of any known language and emit pale, flickering light patterns. 003-2 is controlled by a non-biological internal computer, the contents of which are mostly inaccessible without risk of damaging 003-2. Dash 2 is capable of controlled emissions of radiation, including heat, light and anomalous radiation types. Dash 2 contains an internal power source of an anomalous nature, which appears to have been losing power since several centuries before discovery. It is considered probable that Dash 2 was created for the purpose of containing Dash 1. Partially interpreted data recovered from Dash 2 may refer to a past and or potential future LK-class restructuring event caused by 003-1. SCP-003 was located by remote viewing team SRV-04-Beta. It appears possible that SRV-04-Beta was deliberately contacted by 003-2. Other organisations have also been alerted to 003's existence, possibly by similar means. Despite this activity, Dash 2 does not appear to be sentient, based on its lack of reaction to M03 Gloria analysis and procedures. When 003 drops below the temperature of 35 degrees centigrade, both components react. First, 003-1 enters a growth state characterised by an exponential increase in mass. This growth state consists of 2 stages. In both stages, 003-1 partially fuels its growth by converting matter around it, starting with any surrounding inorganic material, including atmospheric elements, then non-living organic material, including cells of dead skin, hair, chitin, enamel, keratin, and other biological materials. The first stage is always the same. Dash 1 will first increase its mass, then take a form similar in shape to an Ophiuroid, a brittle star of 15 metres in diameter, including what appears to be a central processor of 3 metres in diameter. It will form sensory organs that appear to scan its surrounding environment and will partially convert the area around it to an unidentified anomalous substance. -2 seems immune from conversion. The second stage describes a growth alteration, which occurs when 003 comes into contact with living organic material. 003 appears to template itself off of the organic material and will attempt communication with organisms that match its initial template or templates. In its second stage, -1 may pause, slow or change its growth, and will also convert inorganic and non-living organic elements into functionally similar structures while anomalously altering their physical makeup. While growth is consistent in the first stage, in the second stage, -1's growth rate is diminished by 20 to 90% so long as 003-1 remains in contact with living organic material. The percentage is determined by the complexity of the organisms in contact with -1. -1 appears to devote a large amount of processing power to analysis of living organic material. During each of -1's growth stages, -2 releases bursts of radiation that temporarily inhibit -1's growth, or reverse this growth when the temperature of -1 rises above 100 degrees. Similar radiation emissions have been replicated or recorded via other anomalous means. -1's biology has been the subject of extensive study. Significant elements have been identified similar to SCP-redacted, SCP-1512 and SCP-2756, the latter two of which have no further confirmed connection with -1 and no known connection with each other, and none of which are fully understood, technically even less understood than 003, thanks to the extensive cross-disciplinary research on the 003 objects. To date, no convincing analysis has been put forward which satisfactorily explains 003-1's connection to these SCP objects or others, nor its connection to modern technology beyond appearance and potential mimicry via unknown mechanism.
Okay, so there's quite a lot of things that's doing there, yeah.
Yeah, so basically it's two objects, one that seems to contain the other, but the one that contains has slowly been losing power, whilst the one that grows, the biological motherboard, tries to interface with living creatures.
Yeah, that seems to be what's going on, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing can therefore be kind of dangerous when it does. Addendum 003-01. Acting on information gathered from linguistic analysis of -2's runes and comparative data analysis, research team M03 Gloria has managed to establish a link between SCP-003 and data expunged for analysis of functions. -1 must now be considered sentient and is to be kept a minimum of 1 kilometre from data expunged and the resulting byproduct at all times. Okay, so it's sentient.
Yeah, they expunge these things. We'll never know what they are.
Yeah. So that's probably why it's been given Euclid, because it's not super dangerous, but given that it is sentient, there's always that element of danger to it, in that you don't know what it's thinking.
You don't know what it will do as well.
Yes. Addendum 003-02. -2's power loss has been exacerbated by the procedures performed by M03 Gloria. On orders of 0510, M03 Gloria will continue procedures. Addendum...
The 05 have given the go-ahead for that.
Yeah. Addendum 003-03. During M03 Gloria procedures, -1 doubled its mass and began rapid structural growth. Temperature was immediately returned to 100 degrees. Growth and mass increase of 003-1 continued for 9 minutes and 6 seconds, at which a sustained radiation spike was produced by -2. In response, -1 returned to its normal state in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. New growth dissolved into a dusty residue, which was collected for analysis. Both -1 and -2 ceased all detectable activity. -2 did not resume activity until connected to external power source. -2's runes glowed uniformly grey and did not resume normal activity for 3 hours. -2 no longer appears to be able to maintain containment area at a temperature above 35 degrees without external power supplied by generators 003 Roman 3 through 9. Addendum 003-04. The procedure detailed in Addendum 003-03 was repeated, and -1 again entered a growth state. After 10 minutes and 13 seconds, -2 once again produced a sustained radiation spike. -1's growth stopped for 36 seconds, then resumed at its previous pace. On quadrupling its mass, -1 formed a coherent outer shell and body. After appearing to scan its environment and partially converting its environment, -1 then breached containment, entering the observation gallery where 9 members of M03 Gloria were present. On physical contact with team members, -1 encompassed them in rapidly grown appendages and stopped growth for 15 minutes. -1 then resumed growth and rearranged the component parts of the centre of its form to the shape of a 3-metre tall female humanoid, with peripheral tentacles shifting to extrude primarily from -1's newly formed hair and spine. -1 then produced rudimentary vocalizations in an apparent initial attempt to communicate with researchers. Data expunged. An unknown individual approached the compromised containment area in company of a full squad of agents. The individual claimed to be acting on orders of 0510 and attempted communication with SCP-003-1. Data expunged. Following this incident, Agent Jackson of M03 Gloria successfully restored power to -2 and activated backup generators to return the temperature to 100 degrees. -1 returned to its normal state in 21 minutes and 7 seconds and was successfully recontained without incident. All 9 members of M03 Gloria affected by -1 were afterwards found to be physically unharmed, with no residual effects besides psychological trauma. The converted materials of 003's former containment area did not dissolve and are now under analysis. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
So it was doing something strange with the MO3 team.
Yeah.
And they're okay, but they've got
some
not
trauma.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, but finally, there's like special access program M03 Glory required. Couldn't even see what that is. Addendum 003-5. In light of the previous incident, 0510 was removed from the O5 Council by joint decision of O5, well, a load of redacted O5s. M03 Glory procedures have been indefinitely suspended. Interesting.
Oh.
So O510 was up to something.
Yeah, that didn't sound good, did it?
No. So hang on, what's this access granted display files? Oh, this is just like a transcript. Okay, we'll read this as well. Transcript of incident report A21B Cycle 8 for dissemination to O5 command and staff. Interviewers all redacted. A load of O5 and staff present. Interviewed Dr. Tilda David Moose, M03 Gloria lead. Excerpt 35A. She tried to talk to us. We all heard her voice in our heads, in a sort of half language we couldn't fully understand. Some of the others passed out immediately. I lasted a little longer, but it wasn't because of mental fortitude. It's just that she was trying to tell us different things. She showed Jones a replay of all the memories of everything Jones ever felt anything about, all over the course of a few minutes. She ripped 3 of the researchers apart and put them back together unharmed. She doesn't understand human emotion or pain, or very much about how we experience the world. Yes, I would say the containment procedures are necessary. Listen, she wants to remake the world into a paradise filtered through her own alien understanding of paradise, but still a paradise designed for us, for humanity. She'd be happy to make a paradise for any sufficiently complex organism she comes across first, anything with a complex enough mind to accept her, say a dog or a housefly. If she breaches again, we have to be there first. What would it be like? I don't know. She showed us images, not quite images. I can see them in my head, but they're not pictures. The closest thing I can think of is what you see when you close your eyes suddenly and tightly, but brighter and more complex. The images had metallic sounds associated with them, and sensory details that we don't have the words or concepts to describe. The whole effect felt like words of some kind. I believe she wanted to see what we could understand, so she could understand us. She didn't have time to finish analysing us. I don't know what would have happened if she had.
Ooh, it's a bit freaky, isn't it? It's a bit freaky there.
So is this like kind of like an alien sort of thing that has the idea that it's trying to help humans, but it doesn't know how, and the way it's doing it could actually hurt us?
Yeah, so that's why they think the containment would be necessary.
Yeah, it's a bit like the aliens in Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. They are trying to communicate, but they don't realise that the way they're communicating actually hurts humans.
Yes, and in the way it's actually killing them as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, I think we should leave it there actually.
Indeed, because that was a big one. That was. I have a feeling some of these will probably be quite short, but others will be, really, really big. So shall we wrap up there then for this first episode of Phil and Red read SCP?
I think we should. We've had a good one there, and that's a long one. But we've got to see all of the various different ones.
Indeed. I think that's a good format, though, the way we've done it here. Read some articles, read some anomalous items, and then get onto some actual SCPs as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we can do
So yeah.
in future ones.
Yeah, so I think we'll definitely do more of this because, you know, I think it'll be very fascinating. It'll be interesting as we go through these as well to sort of get our own reactions to some of these SCPs. You know, do we think they're very creepy or do we think they're just weird? Yeah, I think, I don't know, is there one in particular there that, and admitting that obviously one of those, there wasn't really much information on it because of apparently how dangerous it is, but, you know, which one do you think is probably the scariest to you there, of those three that we read, Phil?
Would be interesting to see which ones we view as creepy, which ones we view as weird, which ones we view as horrifying. I mean, that one, the biological motherboard seemed okay. The way it's communicated was okay, but more the living room one seems to be was very freaky.
Indeed, it seems like the living room one is actively trying to predate on humans, whereas the biological motherboard isn't necessarily trying to do that, but it's just accidentally hurting people.
And God only knows what's behind 001.
Yeah, indeed.
That'll be one at the end. And any ones that have massive things like that will do at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, we'll wrap up there then, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for joining me, Phil, and thanks for suggesting this.
I think that's a good idea, yeah, absolutely.
Indeed. So social media links, propagandist channel link, etc, as usual in the video description for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. But that is the two of us signing off now. It's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me. I hope you aren't too scared, viewers.
Indeed. Goodbye, everybody. What the fuck? Oh! What the? I hear movement. Why is there movement? Nothing happened. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. I just reloaded the game and then bullshit just went down. Why? Who am I here? Oh! Why are you here? Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me. Why did that happen? Holy fuck, that scared the absolute shit out of me.